Hello. So, it's nice early in the morning. It's 19th. It is the All-Star break. I'm well ahead of schedule for my college work, so I decided I'm just gonna do a little fun video. Currently, right now it's week 18 in the NBA season. Football's over. My Bears are in the off season. I'm liking the moves they're making. I'm just gonna put this on my main channel. My sports channels. There's no point. It was fun doing it, but might as well just upload it to the main channel where it gets more views, especially if all the new subs I've gotten. I think I'm at like 1,300. Nah, not 13, but like I think 1250 or whatever ish. Here is the current standings. My Bulls are 38 and 21. Um, 12 wins before they clinch. I wouldn't really say a playoff spot, but they clinch a play-in spot. Of course, there's a big difference between a 6 seed and a 10 seed. A 10 seed is something that teams like the Knicks or Wizards are going to be lucky to get. These teams right here, maybe the fringe Pacers might have a shot. Let me check. If they if they pretty much went out, go like 19-22 or maybe 18-22 at best, they might get lucky and somehow stumble in if if a team or two collapses. But these teams right here, Hornets to the Pacers, are in contention for not really even the Pacers. They might get it if they're really lucky and go on a hot streak. And the Knicks and the Wizards collapse. Knicks, they're collapsing. That's been going on for the last 2 months or so. And a couple months ago, they were up here. People like the Knicks Bulls rivalry is going to be huge. Eastern Conference Finals. Even I was like, yeah, it's going to be a good matchup. Now the Knicks will be lucky if they make the 10th, maybe possibly ninth seed. But as of now, the Hawks are playing decent for a playing team. I think they'll be there. Bulls will clinch this spot with 12 more wins, but obviously, once they clinch that, they better not get a playing team. That'll be a total collapse. That'll be like a 2020 Steelers where they clinched a playoff spot and then lost 104. Or a more recent example, the Cardinals this year, where before even clinching a playoff spot, they kind of imploded. Everything went downhill after that Bears game. He posted that stupid bean picture on Twitter after beating the Bears. And that was actually a pretty decent game. Um, if we had Fields, then we probably would have pulled off an upset, considering how the Lions were able to beat them. And then they just scored 11 points in the playoff, even more pathetic than the Steelers. But yeah, that's the worst way to have a bad season. Start off hot, then collapse. I'd rather just like win, win, loss, loss, win, loss, win, loss. Go like 8-8 or 9-7. Yeah, but despite that, here's the standings right now. Obviously, the competitors for the first are the Bulls, Heat. They're deadlocked and then 2 games behind. Plus, the Bucks also have an extra game played. The Milwaukee Bucks, the Sixers, Cavaliers. I don't know. These are the teams that are in legitimate contention for the first. And then you got the Celtics, Raptors, and Nets, and then all the way down below, you got these teams that are going to be your play-in teams. So the Bulls, if they get first, they're likely going to play a team like the Celtics or the Raptors. Yeah. Now let's check in on before we start the predictions. I'm not going to go in depth on every game because there's like 200 games I have to go through. This is like an entire like 2 months of basketball games, and it's going to be like 40 games, 50 games a week or something. So I'm not going to go in depth. Maybe if they're Bulls, I might do like a sentence or two. But checking on the West, the Suns have it locked up pretty much. I would be honestly surprised. The only team that can possibly steal a first is if the Suns clinch a playoff spot and then just decide to coast and get a little too. They pull a Cardinal and get a little too greedy, putting their backups for like 20 games or so, and then let it slip, and the Warriors go on a hot streak to clinch first. But the Suns are not going to finish anywhere worse than second, which means pretty much whoever gets the sixth, seventh, I think there's eight. There's eight, right? Yeah, eight. There's eight playing spots. And then the ninth and tenth, they pretty much compete. It's like, yeah, the seventh, eighth play game. The loser plays the winner of this 9 and 10 game. The loser of the 9 and 10 game gets eliminated. The winner goes on to play the winner of this game. And of course, the winner of this game goes straight to the playoffs. So if you're a 7-8 seed and you lose in the play-in, it's not the end of the world. You still have another game to play. I count that as playoffs because the Blackhawks kind of went to a play-in tournament a few years ago. We won a series there, and I count that, you know. Ever since 2016, 2015, Blackhawks really haven't had that much to be happy about, so I'll take it. But without further ado, let's get to it. Here's where we're at right now, February 14th, 17th, from the All-Star break, so let's skip ahead. First game we got, Memphis at Minnesota. Going with Memphis, and I don't even want to talk because I'm going to say a lot of names. So, Phoenix, Thunder. Oh, Snapchat. Golden State, Portland, Denver, Phoenix. Going with Phoenix, Utah, Clippers, Sacramento, Phoenix again, LA. Upset there. Upset there. Portland, Lakers, Indiana. Actually, I'm going to go for upset there. Philly. I want to say we come out. I'm going to say we come out strong. This is assuming a few players are back from injury. And we beat Memphis. Miami beats that. Cleveland beats Detroit. Got Brooklyn over Boston. Actually, no. Because they're going to be really pissed over the absolute beating they got. You remember that? It was like, what, 120 to like 70, 80 or whatever. It was like a 45, 50 something blowout. And they literally had to they literally changed the game to a better one on TV. Kind of like what they do in the NFL. If it's a bad enough blowout, they'll pretty much, if you're not in like the actual area, like that Chiefs Raiders game, it was such a bad blowout that in any other area besides Vegas and Kansas City Chief area, that Missouri area, they pretty much changed it to I forgot what game. I think the Broncos or something. Uh, Denver. I got Chicago over Denver, Toronto over Charlotte, Miami over that, Boston over that, Toronto over Atlanta, Cleveland over Washington, Milwaukee over Brooklyn, Philadelphia. That. Yeah. Okay, on to week 20. This is the 28th to March 6th. I'm gonna get that. Sacramento over that. Clippers over that. Golden State. No, Dallas. Jazz over Houston. Pelicans over that. Thunder over Denver. Going with Phoenix. I don't really see Phoenix losing a lot of games. Golden State over that. I'm going with San Antonio. Lakers over the Clippers. Finally beat the damn Clippers. I mean, that's pretty much the only thing the Clippers have. I'm not a Lakers fan whatsoever. I don't like LaMickey, but they have 17 rings, and the Clippers, whew, they don't even have a appearance. Like they get rings for, like in the NFL, they get rings for NFC, AFC championships. Not as good, but they're still rings. You get a championship, you hang a banner. But I don't know if you get that for NBA Finals appearances. I'm a Bulls fan. I want to know every time we won. Utah, Minnesota, Houston, Dallas, Minnesota, Golden State, Memphis, Utah, Pelicans, Cleveland, Memphis, Phoenix, Charlotte. Big upset right here. I just have a feeling this game. Orlando. Phoenix again. Clippers. Indy. I just have this is a hot streak. I just have a feeling it's going to be a hot streak for the Bulls. going out the All-Star break. The players back. Charlotte upsetting Milwaukee. Washington probably blowing out Detroit. Atlanta, Boston. I'm going with Atlanta there. Brooklyn, Toronto. I'm going with Toronto actually. I got Cleveland doing that. Pacers. Yeah. New York Knicks. Give them a win there, I guess. Even though that would be an upset. Miami there. Boom, boom. Got Miami. Complete sleep right there. Detroit over Pacers. Toronto over. And Toronto over Detroit. Cleveland over Philly. Actually, no. No. Changing that. Atlanta over Washington. Chicago over Milwaukee because this game is going to be very emotional. The whole Grayson Allen situation at the UC. I just have a feeling the fans themselves are going to carry the Bulls to a win here. Philly going to upset Miami. Boston's going to beat back down Brooklyn. Toronto's going to beat Cleveland. Pacers are going to beat Washington. Okay, on to week 21. Am I still record? Yep. Portland over Minnesota. I got Portland. Utah over Dallas. I got Utah. LA Lakers over San Antonio Spurs. Lakers. New Orleans Pelicans versus Memphis. Memphis. Golden State. Lakers. Minnesota. Denver. Portland, Golden State, Dallas, Utah, Houston, Memphis, Phoenix. Miami, Knicks, definitely Phoenix, Milwaukee. I'm gonna go with the Heat. I think this is when their streak's gonna end. Miami's gonna upset the Heat. Wait, no. Oh my. Sorry, I just woke up. Miami's gonna upset the Suns. Okay. Hmm. These teams are both pretty bad, but I'm gonna go for Orlando here. Gotta give a few upset wins. Knicks over Dallas. Spurs. Actually, no. Spurs are getting way too many wins. I don't think they'll be winning that much. But they are a few wins out of a playoff spot. The Spurs playoff energy. They really play good against the Bulls. So I think Toronto's going to get a little upset, and I think the Spurs are going to get some wins here. Washington, Clippers. I got Washington. Minnesota over Orlando. Clippers over. Nah, Atlanta over the Clippers. Atlanta over Detroit. Chicago over Philly. Brooklyn over Charlotte. Cleveland over the Pacers. Boston over that. Chicago over Detroit. Yeah, I think we beat Philly. Atlanta over Milwaukee. Nah, Milwaukee over Atlanta. Brooklyn over Philadelphia. Detroit over Boston. Actually, no. Boston over Detroit. Miami over Cleveland. Then Cleveland over Chicago. Cleveland's a really good team. I think they're going to upset us. New York Knicks over Brooklyn. Ooh, good matchup right there. But after what happened, I think the Knicks are going to pull off an ugly win. But after that choke, it's personal. The Knicks need to beat Brooklyn. Because after a choke job like that, where you give up, you were up like 30 points. I think that's the biggest choke I think I've ever seen in basketball. And this is not new for the Knicks. The Knicks have choked away like five something games. They are the Atlanta Falcons of the NBA right now. Oh shit, did I forget the games down there? Let me check if I forgot any games down there. Okay, no, I didn't. Pacers over Atlanta. Actually, no. I'm changing my mind. Memphis over the Knicks. Charlotte over New Orleans Pelicans. Phoenix over Toronto. Washington over that. Minnesota upsetting the Lakers. Not the Lakers. The Heat. San Antonio Spurs over the Pacers. Golden State, Milwaukee. I'm going to go Golden State. Golden State isn't the powerhouse they were about a month or two ago. People were like, they're going to go 72 and 10, like they, not 72 and 10, 73 and 9 or whatever. They were like on like a 10-game win streak. They're still really good. Don't get me wrong. They're 42 and 17. They're not a team to mess around with, but they're not the invulnerable powerhouse that they can be beat, but they're a really good team and a legitimate title contender. As much as I really don't want them to win a title, they won enough. I had to go through, if you all remember, well, how many years was it? One, one, two, three, four. 4 straight years of nothing but Cavaliers and Suns. It was so fucking boring. By the time 2017 came around, it was like the most boring NBA Finals I think I ever watched. It was so fucking boring. It was like what, like the what's the I know it was Golden State, but I don't know how many games. I think in five, maybe six. And I know Golden State won these two. And then 2018. Was it 2018 where that was? Let me look that up. Let me look it up on my phone. It's faster. I think that no, that wasn't the one with that wasn't the one with yeah, 2018. So 2014 I think was yeah, 2018 was the worst one. That was a fucking boring ass sweep. 2014 was the Spurs versus the Heat, and the Spurs won. And it was 2015 Golden State. 2016 was the best one because it was the 3-1 choke, and I remember that because Cleveland was like, yeah, we're gonna win baseball now, and there's a bunch of jokes where it's like the Cleveland's like the only sports city in the same year to come back from a 3-1 lead and choke a 3-1 lead. So that was pretty impressive. Go Cubs. Then 2017 I think was yeah, Golden State in 5, then Golden State in 4. I don't want to see Golden State win. I hated seeing the same. Um, Denver, Toronto. Hmm. I'm gonna go with Toronto. Portland versus Washington. I'm gonna go Portland, Lakers, Boston. Not the Lakers. Clippers. Clippers are so fucking boring. I don't like the Clippers. Okay, I'll be right back. Skip ahead to about the 18:30 mark. I gotta go let the doggies out. Okay, so this is about the time where the playoff push is getting real. And got March 14th to 20th, week 22. Okay, let's start. Minnesota over San Antonio. Phoenix over the Pelicans and the Rockets. Lakers beat them. Thunder beat San Antonio. San Antonio beats the Pelicans. Utah beats the Lakers. Not the Lakers. The Clippers. Fuck. Houston upsets Memphis. Phoenix beats them. Golden State beats San Antonio. I'm going for an upset there. San Antonio plays really well uh, when they shouldn't. The record doesn't show it, but they do. Cleveland beats the Clippers. Portland beats Atlanta. Charlotte. Where even is Portland? Oh, they're actually not that good. I'm changing that pick. Philly over Denver. Washington over Golden State. Chicago over Sacramento. Toronto. Lakers over Toronto. Milwaukee over Utah, Memphis over Indiana, Washington over Denver, Dallas over Brooklyn, Knicks over Trailblazers, Chicago over Utah, Boston over Golden State, Milwaukee over Sacramento, Toronto over the Clippers. I have a feeling this is going to be a trap game for Brooklyn, so I'm going to go with the Magic in a big upset. Miami, Dogs, the Dogs. Charlotte over Atlanta, Cleveland over Philly. Then I think Orlando's going to go on a little mini streak. I mean, it doesn't really matter. They're tanking, but I think they win back-to-back games. Woo, yay. Knicks over Washington, Detroit in a big upset over Cleveland, then Toronto over Philly. Okay. Week 23, 21st to the 27th. Let's do this shit. Let's go. Minnesota over Dallas. Clippers over Denver. Phoenix over Minnesota. Phoenix over Denver. Rockets over Dallas. Portland Trail. Actually, no. Spurs over Portland. It's going to be a very vital for that last playing spot. Dallas over Minnesota. Houston over Portland. Spurs beat the Pelicans. Oklahoma City over Denver. Oh, I realize this is all going. That doesn't look right. Houston over Portland. Pelicans over the Lakers. Utah over Dallas. Pelicans over Charlotte in an upset. Lakers over Cleveland. Detroit over Portland. Utah. Washington over. I'm going to go Washington. Boston. Golden State. Indiana. I think there's going to be a lot of away wins this week, I guess. Utah again. Memphis. Miami. Philadelphia. Chicago. I'm going to go Milwaukee that time. Like Milwaukee beats us. But I think we also beat Cleveland. Knicks. Detroit. Toronto. Milwaukee again. Washington beats Detroit. Miami beats the Knicks. Pacers upset the Torontos. Milwaukee beats them. No. Miami beats Brooklyn. Detroit beats the Knicks. Brooklyn beats the Charlotte. Thunder beat the Orlando Magic. Lakers beat Philly. Memphis beats Indiana. I just have a feeling I just think this is gonna be a trap game for us. So I'm gonna go for the Pelicans. Every team has them a few times this season. Um, it is what it is. You know, it happens. Charlotte beats Utah. Golden State beats Atlanta. Philadelphia beats the Clippers. Orlando Magic get another win. Milwaukee beats Memphis. Boston beats Minnesota. I got the 76ers upsetting the Suns, but at this point they've pretty much locked up a first spot. So, like at this point, let's check. Yeah, I don't even think that'd be possible. They pretty much locked up. Yeah, they all but locked up the first seed. So I think at this point, would that even be possible with the amount of games? I don't think it'd be possible. But regardless, I have still Golden State. I don't even think it'd be possible. Maybe if I don't even think any of those teams play 10 games. At this point, the Suns are pretty much going to bench their starters since they've clinched the first seed in the conference. The only team that even comes close is the Golden State Warriors, and I doubt they have 10 games with only 2 weeks to play. Let's check. 52, 22. That'd be 74. Yeah. If this record is true, Phoenix will clinch, and I think that's when they're going to start losing a few games, but it doesn't matter. It's bound to happen when you clinch. Okay. San Antonio over Houston, Golden State over Memphis, Portland over Oklahoma, Dallas over Lakers, Clippers over Utah, Houston over Sacramento, Spurs over Memphis in an upset. Golden State is going to upset Phoenix since this is going to be the first game they're probably going to rest their starters. It's going to be a big win for Golden State, but I don't think it's going to really matter that much since obviously they bench the starters. Pelicans over Portland, Utah over the Lakers, Houston over Sacramento, Phoenix over Memphis. They bounce right back. Actually, no, I'm gonna go Memphis. It's gonna be their first. I don't. Did they? Let's check actually. Do they have any losing streaks? They've only had one losing. They had a kind of a bad start to the season. Obviously, they lost their first game. That's probably as bad as the start you can get to a season, losing the game. That happens to a lot of teams. You know, a team has to lose. There's no ties in basketball, so statistically, you know, half the league starts off the season with a loss every time. That's just a fact. They get one win over the Lakers and then two bad losses to bad teams. Then something after this game, they just say, okay, let's play now. Maybe they treated this like a little preseason. Then they won 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 18. They won like 18 straight, dropped one to the Warriors, two more straight, dropped one to the Clippers, five more straight, and then they had their second losing streak, and streak in parentheses because I don't really say two. I don't really count two games as a losing streak. It's just back-to-back losses. It happens all the time when you're bound to have it when you play 82 games. For me, a streak really starts when you lose four or more. Three is like a little skid. Four is that's when it starts. But anything above that, that's definitely a streak. So this right here is probably their second worst season. But this time they lost to good teams. They lost to the Warriors, Grizzlies, beat up on the Thunder, then had a really nasty game against the Celtics, bounced right back, lost to the Heat, another like 11 game win streak, lost to the Hawks, kind of unexpected, and then right now they're currently on a 7 game win streak. So the Suns are really good. Those 14 losses, a few of them were nasty, but there's no team that's ever going to go 82-0 in the league. For a perfect season is 10 or less losses is a perfect season in my opinion. Like the Bulls had their 72-10 season, and the Warriors had that 73-9 season, but that got a little because they lost, choked in the finals. Still doesn't take away that 73-9 seasons. It's never gonna happen again. Anyway, San Antonio over Portland, Denver over Minnesota, Lakers over Pelicans, Utah over Golden State, Lakers over Denver, Minnesota over Houston, Phoenix over Oklahoma, Portland over Portland over San Antonio, Golden State over Sacramento, Los Angeles is when they're gonna start benching teams that have already clinched the playoffs. By now, all these teams have clinched. Denver over Charlotte. Not all the teams though in the spots. Obviously, teams like Denver, they're a little. Obviously, San Antonio, they're in the 10th spot, so but how many teams are really close behind? They have a little breathing room, but you gotta win every game if you're not in a comfortable playoff spot. If you're not comfortable in your playoff spot, you try to win games. I mean, you still try to win games no matter what. Even if you locked up like a bye or whatever, you still go out and try to win. You don't ever like throw games. But it's like if you lose, no big deal. Miami over Sacramento, Dallas over Cleveland, Indianapolis over Denver, Minnesota over Toronto. Go upset over Cleveland. Magic really kind of messing up their tank there, but I just have a feeling that's just the luck of the Magic. Um, and they still have a good shot at the lottery. Atlanta over. I'm gonna go with Pacers. Chicago over to Knicks. We got how they play. I'm gonna go upset loss to Washington. Boston wins that. Philly wins that. Brooklyn wins that. Orlando wins that. Miami wins that. Knicks win. Big upset win for Detroit. Oh, it's kind of messing up here. Atlanta for Oklahoma. We beat the Clippers. Washington. Miami wins there. Detroit also wins over the Thunder to equalize that. Milwaukee wins over Dallas. Milwaukee wins over Brooklyn. Orlando wins over Toronto. Boston, Philly, Cleveland, Brooklyn. Big win for Chicago over the Heat. Boston, Detroit, Cleveland, New York Knicks. Orlando Magic. How the Knicks have been playing. I'm going to go for Orlando for an upset. Two upsets here. And then Toronto upsetting Miami. And now we approach the final week. Should I do playoff predictions? I'm going to do playoff predictions. But of course, when the actual playoffs come around, I'll predict how my Bulls do. Because it's let's check the chances for the Bulls. They would have to stop playing basketball to not make the playoffs. Collapses have happened before, but as long as the Bulls, I'll check their schedules. Worst case scenario, only win against a few bad teams. Win over the Hawks, win over the Pistons, win over the Kings, win over the Jazz. They aren't a bad team, but win over the Jazz. This is the worst case scenario. Win over the Pelicans, win over the Knicks, the Wizards, Clippers, and a win over the Hornets. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 9 wins. Let's see what they'll get with 9 wins. 9 wins, they have a negative like a below 1% chance to make the playoffs. So they would. It would take a miracle, and they got a 40% chance they'd likely fall to the fifth. They'll likely probably get the fifth seed, possibly the fourth. More likely than not, I think they're probably gonna go like 14, 23, around 50, hovering just above 50 wins. Okay, the final week. Fuck, this is a big video. The final week. Okay, so Oklahoma over Thunder. San Antonio over Denver. San Antonio's pretty much locked up that last play-in spot. And by now, yeah, lock up the last. So they would clinch with a win over Denver. And I also think they get a win over Minnesota. I think the Spurs are good enough to be a play-in team. They're going to do a late season push. Memphis over Utah. Pelicans upset Sacramento, but it won't matter. They're pretty much eliminated by now. Lakers, I think, are going to upset the bench team for Phoenix. Same thing with the Clippers. And they have a rare losing streak. I think that they're gonna get together some losses here. Utah wins that. Pelicans win that. Actually, no. I think Portland will win that. Doesn't really matter though. Both teams are out. Memphis wins that. I'm gonna go with Denver. Denver has more to play for. Memphis by now is already clinched, so I think they're gonna have their bench. I don't know really. I'm kind of new to NBA. I started watching a few years ago. Don't call me a bandwagon because the Bulls sucked a few years ago. You don't bandwagon a shit team. Now they were kind of okay. When did I last? I think the last time the Bulls were really good was 2015. And they swept the Bucks in the first round or whatever. Um, Lakers over Golden State, Dallas over Portland, San Antonio over Dallas, Lakers over Denver, Thunder get 2 quick wins, Sacramento over the Lakers. Not the Lakers, the Clippers. Fuck, I can't think right. And the Lakers fall to the 9. Memphis, Memphis over Pelicans. Golden State also over the Pelicans. Phoenix bounce back in a pretty much garbage time part of the season for them. Utah over Portland. Golden State over San Antonio. Brooklyn over the Rockets. Minnesota over Washington. Detroit upsets Dallas. Houston over Toronto. Atlanta over Houston. I'm going to go with Toronto that one. Boston over Memphis. Chicago over Minnesota. Philly over Indianapolis. Cleveland over Orlando. Miami over Charlotte. Atlanta over Toronto. Milwaukee over Chicago. Brooklyn over New York. Atlanta over there. Chicago over Boston. Orlando over Charlotte. Milwaukee over Boston. Toronto over Philly. Milwaukee over Milwaukee over Detroit. Washington Wizards over New York. Brooklyn over Cleveland. And then Chicago ends the season off with a dub. And I'm gonna change. I'm gonna say we lose to Boston. Supposed to say, yeah, 53-29. Final record of this season. Wait, no, 53-27. Did I did I forget something? They're I must have forgot something. There's no way they would have a 53-27. There's no way they would. That's not a full. That's 53. That's not a full. That's like 80, I think. Yeah, it's 80. Let me just go back and make sure. Oh, I think it's because of the games that got rescheduled. But anyway, Indiana got upset. Brooklyn, Miami over Atlanta. Washington over. I'm gonna go Charlotte. Cleveland over Milwaukee. Knicks over that. Um, Mostly teams are benched, so I'm gonna go for Orlando. Gonna upset Miami's bench. Detroit's gonna upset Philly's bench for the last wins of the season. I think Indiana's gonna lose to Philly. Yes, they're gonna play for seeding. And this is my final season predictions, but this is just extra. This is no way what I'm gonna do. This is probably not. I think teams like obviously Chicago, Phoenix, those. This is probably gonna be a lot of these teams are probably gonna make the playoffs. Um, of course, this is ignoring the play-in. Um, yeah, this is ignoring the plan. I wish they did they not do the plan? Um, I could just assume the plane gets skipped, I guess. So, well, let's just do the finals. I'll come back in June or whatever, not June, April when the playoffs begin, and then when the finals do get there in June, hopefully the Bulls are there. I'll predict the finals then. So I'm doing 3 finals predictions, and then when playoffs come around, I'll probably fill out an official bracket. So we got Phoenix versus Denver. Wow. I'm gonna go Phoenix, Phoenix, and then I'm gonna go one Denver upset win. And then, boom, Phoenix Suns in 5. Utah, Dallas. Hmm. I'm gonna go with Utah. I'm gonna pick up one at home. And I think Dallas, but I also think Dallas is gonna win this one. So I'm gonna go Utah in 6. Memphis, Minnesota isn't that bad of a team, but I think Memphis is gonna. I think Memphis wins the third game. Not Memphis. Minnesota wins the third game at home. I don't think this is really competitive, so I don't think there's gonna be a lot of sweeps. Golden State. I think this might be a trap of how bad the Lakers are. I think the Lakers are gonna give Golden State a run for their money. Gonna tie the series. Golden State wins at home. Lakers win at home, but I think at the end Golden State's gonna come through. And I don't think they're gonna be. Nah, I'm gonna do my Chicago one. I always do Chicago last. Last, but definitely not least. Okay, Philly, Boston. I'm gonna go with Philly's gonna jump out. Boston's gonna. I think Philly at the end. I think Philly's gonna upset big, but actually no. I got Philly winning at home in 7. This is gonna be a good one. This is gonna be a good series if it happens. Cleveland at Milwaukee. Um, I think it's gonna be a back and forth series. With how talented Cleveland is, and they're a sleeper. I think they're gonna pull off an upset, and Cleveland. Yeah, I'm gonna go Cleveland in 7. Miami now. I think this, with how powerful Miami is, I think this is probably gonna be a sweep. But never count Toronto out. They win at home. I don't think there's gonna be any sweeps this year with how powerful it is. Now, Brooklyn and Chicago. Brooklyn is powerful. But of course, they've collapsed. They're going to make the play-in. I got Chicago picking up the first 2 to get a good series lead. I think Brooklyn's going to strike back at home. Chicago's going to strike right back. Brooklyn's going to take one from home, and then Chicago's going to seal the deal in 6 versus Brooklyn and advance to the second round. And there we got the divisional. I'm going to go Phoenix, Utah, Phoenix, Phoenix. And I'm going to get Utah's going to pick up a win here and then a win here. They're going to give Phoenix a run for their money to make it really hard. But at the end, I got Phoenix advancing to the Western Conference Finals. And we got Memphis at Golden State. I think Memphis is just really underrated. And I'm going to have them upsetting Golden State in 6. It's like if we go to, let's go to the West. I'm not a sports expert, by the way, so don't judge or whatever. But it's just they're really close. Grizzlies have one more game played. It's just technically that's an upset, but I think they're evenly matched. Okay, we got Cleveland at Miami. Miami is really powerful, but Cleveland is too. I think this is gonna be a back and forth series. Miami's gonna, nah, Cleveland's gonna pick up, so it's gonna be tied 2-2. I think Miami's gonna pick up the 3-2. Then I think Cleveland's gonna strike right back, and then Game 7. And I think Cleveland's gonna upset, go to Eastern Conference Finals. Of course, I'm gonna pick my Bulls to, but I think Philly's gonna make it really hard because we had a really hard time with Philly. But I think we're gonna learn from our mistakes. We're probably gonna be down first in the series, then we're gonna win one, win two. They're gonna win. We're gonna be 3-2. Chicago's gonna bounce back in 7. Now we advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals. We got Phoenix at Memphis. I got Phoenix. Memphis is gonna go up 2. Then Phoenix is gonna boom boom. And then Phoenix is gonna wrap it up in 6. These aren't really accurate predictions. I doubt it's gonna be like this. I can see the Bulls going to the Eastern Conference Final, but I doubt it's gonna be against Cleveland. Eastern Conference Final, I got Bulls getting a 2. Then Cleveland's gonna strike back with 2 straight wins at home. Actually, no, 1 win at home. Chicago makes it 3-1. Cleveland denies the right to celebrate at home, but Chicago wraps it up in 6 to go to the finals. And here we have the NBA Finals. Phoenix at Chicago. This is going to be a hard one. I think Chicago is going to upset, but Phoenix is going to bounce right back. We're going to be down 2-1. Chicago is going to win one at home. Phoenix is going to win theirs at home. We're going to be down 3-2 in the series. And I think Chicago's going to bounce right back. And we played really good against them. I think we're going to be down. We're going to be down early. But I think at the end, this may be biased. This is incredibly biased. I'm going to do a more accurate one when the actual playoffs come around. But I just think the Bulls, this is assuming they're fully healthy, by the way. This is assuming they're fully healthy. Um, assuming they're fully healthy. Sorry for repeating myself, but assuming they're fully healthy, assuming they have a little bit of luck on their side and momentum, I think the Bulls have what it take. Do I think they'll get that far? I think maybe in a season or two. But this is the best case scenario. We're in a win. We're kind of in a win now mode. Not necessarily win this season, but we probably have. I think the Bulls' goal should be to win by the 2025 season. So we have this season, that season, that season. That we have win in the next 4 to 5 seasons. That's our window. Maybe 4 seasons, not maybe 5. We have all the pieces here. Maybe not necessarily this season. If we don't win this year, I think we're gonna win real soon. But if we had the potential to win this year, and I'm just gonna go with what my gut tells me. And my gut tells me the Bulls are gonna win their first championship since 1998. Yeah. Or how vaunted Phoenix is. Actually, nah, I'm gonna stick with it. I mean, if Phoenix goes to the finals and they aren't playing the Bulls don't make it, they like fall short in the second or the Eastern Conference Finals or whatever, or God forbid, I don't know, they lose in the first. That'd be sad. I think they're gonna get past 1 or 2 rounds, my opinion. But I'm gonna be rooting for Phoenix if they're not playing because Phoenix has never won a championship. their time is now, and I would not be shocked um if they win. I would not be shocked. But for since I'm a homer, I'm always gonna pick my team, you know, over other teams, even if they quote unquote deserve it more. No players gonna be like, yeah, go ahead, win the championship. You deserve it more. It doesn't work that way. If you're a fan of another team watching it, yeah, but no team's gonna do that. But I wouldn't be upset if we lost to Phoenix. If Golden State or something, yeah, I'll probably be upset. They won enough. But I mean, we literally dominated an entire decade and let no one else win. So, but I wasn't alive for it. So it's not really fair. Anyway, Bulls win their seventh championship in seven, possibly six if we get lucky. No way we sweep Phoenix though. No way. Bulls in seven, NBA champions. Oh my God, this is 50 minutes. Wow. Anyway, have a great day. This has been my NBA season prediction. I would do one on the NHL, but they don't have one yet. They have college football, baseball, but that hasn't started yet. Football, that season's over. So, yeah. If they do hockey, I will do one. But I mean, my Blackhawks aren't really not in the East. My Blackhawks aren't really doing so that good. Not doing so that I can't even speak. Blackhawks aren't doing so well. If they like go on a crazy spree and go 46-28, 20, it literally only lose three more games. And realistically, they can afford to lose five more games and still have a good chance at the playoffs. Maybe seven. That is their only shot. If they go 24-31, 20, yeah, pretty much anything less than this, 71 chance, a 24% chance at the last wild card spot is something. But in all realistic chance, the best shot we have is we got to go 26-31. Only five more losses, so that's the best realistic scenario. Maybe 25. Because there's no way we're going to win out or go 30-31. But more realistically, I say it's going 15 out of 30 at best. Might as well tank, though. Anyway, it's been good. Go Bulls. Can't wait to see them back at the All-Star break. I doubt they're going to go to the finals, but I'm a fan. I can't help it. I'm hoping for the best. I've never seen the Bulls win a championship before. And if the Bulls win it all, the only teams I'll need to see would be the Bears, of course. I got to see the Bears win the Super Bowl. That's what I want most. And then the last place of Chicago teams I want to see win a like I want to see Chicago teams win. Like I'm not gonna pick another team to win over the Chicago teams ever. But I I guess the White Sox. I'm not a White Sox fan. I'm a Cubs fan. But I mean it would be kind of nice to see a Chicago team win a ring even if they're a crosstown rival. Yeah. Technically I was around when they won, but I was too young, so I don't count that. It's like if you were a baby when your team won a championship, I'll be like, yeah, I remember that. No, you don't. Like I remember the 2010, 2013, 2015, 2016 World Series, the Blackhawks Cups, the Sky Championship. Yeah, that too. The Sky one. I remember those, but I don't remember the 2005 White Sox World Series. Anyway, thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. This is probably one of the longest videos ever recorded on OBS. Um, I doubt you watching this far. This is gonna take forever to upload. Um, yeah. Thanks.